Hello, and welcome to Shamrock Talk, the internet's #1 mother-son Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Jake Olin, here once again with my mother, Karen Olin.
Hello.
First episode of 2024. We are
Woo!
back. Celtics still on a roll since we last spoke. 3-1, 26-7 overall. First in the Atlantic, first in the East, first in the NBA, and 15-0 at home. So we're still tracking that streak as long as we go. But little slip up at the end here, our most recent game, but I think it's another solid week for the Boston Celtics. What'd you think? Week in review.
Do you want to go hopeful? I'm hopeful. I thought even of our loss, I'm hopeful. I have some things to say that when we go over the game, but
yeah,
hopeful overall.
Yeah, so far so good. All right, first game up, the lowly Pistons, fresh off their streak. Now since broken, they broke it the game after, beat the Raptors.
Thank God.
So yeah, but
the Celtics fan in me even wanted them a little bit to win. I'm not gonna lie. It was so sad.
At the end, I was just kind of half rooting for the Pistons.
And in the end, home streak. Whatever, in the end, it's just like, how do you keep coming out and playing every single night, losing like that? And to come out and beat the #1 team, that feeds you. And so a little part of me said, oh, this would be a good one for them.
And they also were up like 20 points.
Agreed.
And then blew a 21-point lead.
Agreed.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
And bring it all the way to overtime and still lose.
And who but the Celtics to make a team like that look good? Yeah, we do such a good job at that. For some reason, we do such a good job. And first half, horrible, absolutely horrible. We looked horrible.
No Jalen.
We shot 16% at 3.
Yeah,
they shot 39. I mean, no, we shot 39. We had 10 turnovers in the first half, just in the first half. I think we just came out mentally like we normally do, right? This is going to be an easy game.
Yeah.
We don't have to work very hard. I don't know. Home, though. It was sad. No one could shoot in the first half. Nobody.
Yeah.
And then on the other flip side, we had trouble guarding the paint. Look at their stats in the paint. It was like we had no defense whatsoever.
Yeah, my guy, Duran. I love that guy.
Yep.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's like 19 or 20. He's like his second year in the league. He's a tank. Agreed. He had 14 and 15 in the game. The next night, the game they won, he had 16 rebounds, 17 points.
Yeah.
I actually, I don't know. I know that
I don't think this is a bad team.
3-30, but I think they're 31 now. But I still like a lot of players on this team. I don't get it.
I think they have. I like Cade Cunningham. I like this team. Yeah, and they've got some talent. Not a lot of depth, but they have some talent.
He's still young.
Yeah. Agreed. I don't know why they're as bad as they are compared to some other teams. Yeah. And I feel so bad for the coach. But if you do look back at some of their games against good teams are decent. It's not like every single one has been a blowout. They just haven't been able to close those close games. But anyway, they're not our team. But I agree. I don't think this is a terrible team. I think they have some hope down the road. Like we said last year.
I agree.
I don't mind the
Pistons. I'm buying all the Pistons stock that people are selling right now. Buy low.
Yeah. I didn't think they were.
I don't get it. Not that I've watched any Pistons games, but every time I see
I went back and just was interested in some of the scores and some. Yeah, I mean they've had some close games. We're
on the page. They're still on the Pistons bandwagon, even during their losing streak. We've always liked the Pistons.
Yeah.
Through thick and thin. It's getting very thin.
Yes, I do feel bad for them, but they've got some talent.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how it got this bad.
And I think Bogdanovich was out for a few of those games, so there may have been some injuries.
I mean, he has real value. He's really good. I mean, the Lakers could absolutely use Bogdanovich. He'd be amazing with them. Like they need a scorer. They're great defensively, but they can't score the ball. All that guy does is score. Every time we play him, he's hitting tough shots. I think he didn't even have a good night.
No.
He's a 1 for 7 from 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they should trade him, just get some value, because that guy can add to a real contending team right now. He doesn't fit with the rest of them.
So your guy, Porzingis, saved us in this game.
Yes.
I thought the second half he was, I think he came out, I think it was the third quarter. He was really, but I thought he did a tremendous job offensively this game. Defensively, still some struggles in this game. Oh my God. I just don't think he guards the paint very well, and the way we play, no one person does, but offensively, I thought he was outstanding. And then Derek White, I thought in overtime was excellent. Yeah.
Yep. He sealed the deal. Mr. Consistent. No one's more consistent than Derek White at this point. At this point, I mean, he's just absolute. And we'll get to that later too, because I have a whole Derek White segment.
Oh, nice. Nice.
But let's get to the next game on the list.
This one, 3-point, we were 28% overall. 28%.
That's just how it is. It's the live by the 3, dive by the 3 Joe Mazzulla ball.
I think, Derek White was 50%, 2 for 4. And Al Horford also lifted us up 2 for 3, 66%. Yeah. Everybody else was 25 or below. Not good.
Yeah.
Not good. Jason Tatum, 2 for 11, 18%. Oh, yeah. So anyway, all right, on to the next game.
On to the next one. We won. Yeah, it's another win at home versus the Raptors, 120-118. Close game, but no Tatum, no Porzingis, no Al Horford. Yes. The Cornette game. Comebacks. He was great. He's been great ever since he came back.
Agreed. I thought this was one of the most fun games to watch of the year. You know how I feel about movement of the ball and who's going to score. Like, it was just a really fun game. And you knew it was going to be. I was at this game. This game.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. And the crowd, I can't even tell you, even in our section, which is usually somewhat on their feet at the end. It was so fun. Fun game. It was, That's phenomenal.
Great to hear.
Yeah.
Continues the streak, 15-0 at home. Another home win. As soon as you start going to games, we're now undefeated at home.
That's right.
You start the podcast, we turn it around, you get the seats. This is the year. This is it. Yeah.
And Jalen actually had he was pretty efficient. He did have 7 turnovers. I'm not going to lie.
If
too much dribbling.
If Derek White is Mr. Consistent, Jaylen Brown is Mr. Inconsistent.
Yes. Yes.
If when he's on at this point, he looks like the best player in the world. I mean, you can't stop him. It's ridiculous. And then he's not that person. And in like a quarter, it's just he goes to take a seat, comes back, and his powers are just gone. It's actually some of the craziest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. But this game, looked fantastic.
And just less dribble. That's all you need to say to him. Yeah. Less dribble. But
sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he just goes one dribble and just throws it on people's heads. It's incredible.
2 things I will say. One, like you said, Luke Cornette, I thought offensively, he does have a bad case of bedhead. I will give you that. There's something about the haircut he has recently. It's so funny. You notice it right away when we first got to the game. Some type of bad haircut or needs some special gel for that young man.
Well, he's been sitting at home, so he hasn't had to.
He must have been resting. I don't know. But he was really good for his first game back. Siakam, I've always loved Siakam, and he played very, very well.
Yeah.
D White, highlight of the game was D White's block at the end there. D White's block of Siakam, the whole place. I can't even tell you how loud it was. The whole place. That was an
awesome play.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I guess I did forget to point out this was OG Anunoby's last game as a Raptor, I believe. Traded.
Oh yeah. Smart trade for the Knicks.
You think for the Knicks? Yeah,
for the Knicks. They beat his first game. They beat who did they beat? Somebody big.
I think you're
Timberwolves. Right. It was the Timberwolves. And he had a great game. He fouled out, but he had a great game.
They beat the Bucks,
but they needed a change. Yeah, they needed a change. The Knicks needed a change, and I think that was a good change.
I am a Quickly guy. They gave up him. He was my pick for 6th man of the year, but he's not having an immaculate season apparently.
I think his fit was tough. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think they just
maybe kind of more shots on their afters. They kind of need some shooters. So
agreed.
Get a win-win there.
Yeah. And great ball movement. That was a fun game. It was a really fun game.
Any closing notes? Fun game. You know, kind of had to sweat it out in the end, but with all the guys missing to pull that one off, I'll take it.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right, next one, New Year's Eve game. I actually just watched this for the first time. They won at San Antonio, 134-101. My big takeaway from this game is this team is not better than the Pistons. They're just not.
100%, they're not.
The Pistons I
only watched a portion of this game. I didn't even go back and watch this game, like bits and pieces I watched that night, but agreed.
Like Wembanyama is fantastic. He has a couple plays every time we see him. We're like, oh my goodness, this guy can figure it out. He's going to be unstoppable. But other than that, this is like the Pistons are getting all the publicity because of their streak. But they have 3 wins. The Pistons have 5. This team is worse. This team was terrible. Oh my goodness.
Agree.
Yeah, just Wemby, and I mean, Sochan's okay. I kind of like him. But he's like a glue guy on the team, not a guy that's carrying you anywhere. Really bad.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you had any details about it. I watched bits and pieces, and my only question is why Jason Tatum came back in the 4th quarter, even for a minute and something.
Have this conversation. It's like
I'm like, why is he coming back in? I don't understand.
That being said, I will say I like all the rest they got in the games before that. They staggered a no Jalen and no Jason game.
100%.
We're winning them anyway, which is good. And I think I do like
the minute he came in, I was like, what? And he only stayed in a minute and 30 seconds, but maybe because we were embarrassed, maybe because Missoula was embarrassed. Why are you going back in? I simply don't understand.
No, I mean, that's all there is to say of this game. Wembanyama is really good as advertised. The rest of that team is just oof.
Yeah,
not good. And then here comes my D White segment. We're going to revisit the trades that took Derek White to Boston and from the Spurs. And here's what the Spurs got. It's ugly. I'll let you know in advance. Josh Richardson, who played for them that season, and then he's now with the Heat, signed as a free agent. Romeo Langford, who signed with the Jazz in the offseason, but was waived and is currently on their G League team, the Salt Lake City Stars. And our 2022 first round pick, which is now Blake Wesley. He had 1 point in 17 minutes last night, or against the Spurs. I just watched the game, so it feels like last night to me. But and he averages 2.4 points on the season. So that is a royally terrible trade for the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, they were rebuilding, right? That's what they said. We're rebuilding. 3 years later. Yeah, agreed.
Why do you want Josh Richardson if you're rebuilding? I don't like Derek White.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Derek White with Wembanyama right now?
Yeah.
I guess they didn't know they were going to get Wembanyama, but Derek White and Wembanyama would be amazing together.
Yes.
That would be insane.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be so much better than what they got. Exactly.
Definitely their loss.
That is a royally terrible trade. But good on Brad Stevens for swindling that one because
we
I'm
won.
very glad that happened. And then I guess the biggest game of the week at the Oklahoma City Thunder, the number 2 team in the West, big sleeper, and they beat the Celtics 127-123. As we talked about earlier, this was a big Jalen game. 4 for 18, 0 for 8 from 3. Just not good. But a fun game. Otherwise, Celtics almost come back and take it. What do you think?
I actually was extremely hopeful because I looked at this team. I was very excited. I had never seen them play this year. I haven't seen them play this year. So didn't know a lot about them in general other than what you had heard, and good team and extremely well coached. Yes. Extremely
I agree.
Well
he
coached.
Should be coach of the year. He's really good.
Their defense, I am just going to say their defense really, really shut us down in the beginning of the game. At third quarter, it made us look slow. It made Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Drew Holiday look like old men. Their dribbling, their turnovers, and their steals, they double tipped very fast. Their hands were incredible.
Yeah.
So I just have to give them a lot of credit. I think they're young, athletic, aggressive, and well coached. They're going to do tremendous things.
They already are second in the West.
Yes, agreed.
I mean, in streaking might take first from the Timberwolves if things go as they have lately.
And I think their only drawback is their youth and their inexperience. And in a close game, that's whether how far they make it in the playoffs, and that they'll, you can't teach.
I can't say it's a team that seriously scares me. If we were to, theoretically play them in the finals, they just don't have size at all.
No. No. And the biggest problem is neither do we. I mean, Porzingis looked great in this game once again, right?
Yeah.
Great. I mean, he was awesome for us. Without him, we wouldn't have pulled this out. Yeah. But there is no defense. There is nobody big in there.
I was about to say, if you think Porzingis is, soft for a big guy, Chet is I mean, of course he's a rookie. You don't feel like get some size, but he's like Porzingis times 2. He's like,
and if Porzingis can't score on this team and him, then he can't score. So that I think is more so why that is their downfall, is they do not have anybody big. And I will tell you now, Embiid, Giannis, they're eating this team up, individually inside there.
I mean, Jokic.
Yes. Well, in the third quarter, I found myself saying, thank God they're in the West, right?
I don't know.
I'm not.
I just don't think they're a great matchup. They can guard the wings well, I guess. In that way, they're a good matchup.
But you know what scares me more than their defense is their offense.
Yeah, of course.
They have so much offense, and when we're off, we're off.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at their stats, but they were shooting the 3 well. They were. They just overall they're.
Yeah, a couple of that is outplaying your average. Yeah. Giddy hit a bunch of shots. We just dared him to shoot.
And I don't know what his average is. Was this all high? Is our defense just that lame that we?
I don't think he
allowed
23 points. Let's see. He's at 12 a game. So
yeah. So now I said something about being hopeful, and I was hopeful due to the fourth quarter, right? We adjusted. Where was that intensity the rest of the game?
Yeah, it felt like I feel like we're always in the Thunder's position in those games where we're up 20 early fourth quarter and we blow it. And it was weird being on the other end of that. I was like, oh, we're the other team in this scenario now. I feel like that's our game to play.
But that Jason Tatum suddenly decides he's going to take SGA and keeps him to what, 4 points, I think?
Yes.
In the fourth quarter? 4 points. He decides he's going to guard him. Where is that? Where is that all through the third quarter? Where is that in a lot of games?
That's what I mean. Come playoff time, those adjustments get made.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know. I see it of 2 ways where it's you should, go to win the game. But on the other side, it's sometimes that experimentation in the regular season is kind of what veteran teams do. Jimmy Butler just doesn't play in the regular season. It's kind of ridiculous. But what I think some of that does is get the other guys minutes in the regular season. So when he comes in. So I just think a team like that knows they're going to be there in the playoffs, just kind of experiments with different things. And so that's how you kind of find those matchups, which we'll also get to. The other one at the end was Pritchard over Holiday to end the game. what were your thoughts on that?
I thought that he was, Pritchard was and I love Peyton Pritchard anyway, as many people do. He was the spark on defense. I think he is the one player that came in that not only guards one-on-one, but has a great defensive court awareness of where the ball's going and what the other team is doing on the whole. That's why he gets the rebounds that he does. That's why he tied the ball up like he did. He just has a really good he has a high IQ as far as where the ball's going to be and what the other team is going to do. Challenged by his verticality, obviously, but he came in and he was that little defensive spark. It wasn't just, Tatum on, it was a combination of things. And he is that little defensive spark that is able to get his hand in or quickly double team or read where the pass is going to go. And he hustles from man to man to man, which a lot of
yeah, but he was going in for Holiday, who does all of those things too.
Yes, he has his own struggles. That I'll mention at the end. I'm not sure what's going on with him. I don't know if it's an ankle nagging injury or he just looked. I don't know. I think was a little out of sorts. And you give him kudos for Mazzulla not have to managing his ego and leaving him in, right?
I thought that was a great move. Mazzulla has the thumbs up of my approval for the Pritchard move.
And I also think that's the type of player Drew Holiday is. Yeah. He doesn't complain. He is not in your face. I think he knew this is not my game. And he doesn't have a problem with that, right? He's okay sitting where some other players might not be okay with that. They may have something to say, or you might not be able to get away with that with other players. But that was definitely a great move. And I think I don't know. I think it was
I just saw more from an offensive angle. I mean, Holiday was struggling. We're down 18 points. It's like, we need to score in a hurry. And it's like, if he can play good enough defense, then he's Hauser's right there with him, but he is that corner shot. I'm telling you that he's pretty automatic now is where his spot is. If he can just he'll get his moments where he has time to do his thing, but if it's not his time, if it's someone else's time, you know how our offense goes. Being that corner guy is going to keep him on the floor. And I think just recently he's found his way to the corner. He's there and he hits that shot. And it's like, I've been harping on this. That's the guy that we've needed, is just that guy that can space the floor. You can't leave him and can hit that shot. And he's
and this was the one he broke away and had that nice layup as well.
Correct.
Yeah. So I do think he is versatile. I hope they keep this going. I hope they keep the confidence of those role players going as we get closer to the playoffs. Unlike last year, I hope that we have those players that can come in and have those 10 minutes, 15, whatever it is, of putting a little spark when we need it in there. And D. White was 3 of 3 that quarter. I mean, that again was, he came through offensively for us in the fourth quarter. I mean, not completely. Obviously, we lost the game, but it is the type of game that in the past, we haven't dug deep and caught up and had that opportunity to win, or adjusted enough to have that opportunity to win, And I do think we need this.
Credit to Mazzulla. Mazzulla is, I have no complaints as of late. I mean, he's going to do the timeout thing every once in a while, but that's a little nitpicky thing that I think people blow out of proportion a little, but, and I'm one of those people, but approval rating for Mazzulla is about an all-time high for me.
Yeah, it isn't for everybody. It's funny when I go to the games listening to people and the grumblings of different people and what they have to say. And it's so funny because number 1 record, number 1 in the East. I mean, I'm not, again, not quite sure. I guess people listen to this and they say the same things, what we're complaining about. We have to have something to complain about. Exactly. Otherwise, there is no podcast.
You heard the numbers at the beginning. It's number 1, number 1, number 1, number 1, 15-0.
Yeah.
So you do get a little nitpicky, but I'll give him his props when props are due. Player of the week.
So my player of the week is Chet Holmgren.
Really?
Believe it or not. Yes.
Wow.
Defensively.
I did not see this coming at all.
Nope. I have to say, unexpected offensive power almost assisted them in winning the game.
Yeah.
Against us in the fourth quarter.
Wait, but he did win the game. It did.
That's what I'm saying is that he unexpectedly, he stepped up and he's 21 years old. Yeah. Shooting those shots, being confident enough that this team has a lot of confidence and a lot of scoring potential in different areas. Never expected it from him, right? Is that the guy you would have said, make sure you're on Chet so that he doesn't hit the game? He's
going to win Rookie of the Year.
I agree. I think he shocked me. So he played 32 minutes. He had 4 blocks. He had 14 points on only 9 shots. He only shot 9 times. 7 assists, and is only lacking due to size. Porzingis looked incredible in there. Yeah. against him at times. Who are we kidding?
But that's why I was shocked by your pick.
And 3 rebounds.
He's like Porzingis 2.0. And you don't like Porzingis. How do you like Chet but not Porzingis? They're like the same guy.
Offensively, he was a surprise.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's fine. I was Chet's like, great. I like Chet. I just think.
Wait a second. Yeah.
Give Porzingis such a hard time. They're like the same guy.
I know. No, he's a spindlier. He's a spindlier guy than Porzingis.
That's why I thought you would like him. That's why I was shocked.
Agreed. Like, no, he's my player of the week. He came out of nowhere with the confidence, and he was 5 for 9 shooting. 5 for 9. 3 for 5 from 3-point. 3 for 5.
2 of those right at the end, big daggers.
Yes. So I don't know. He came through for them. When SGA was being shut down.
Yeah.
So
my player of the week was his teammate, but not SGA.
Okay.
Jalen Williams. This guy is a tank. Well, 6 for 9. About the same as Chet.
He is a
just
tank.
defensively.
Agreed. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Guys, he scores on Tatum at the end of the game, bumps him, gets the layup. And not a lot of guys bump Tatum like that. You got to be. Yeah. He's going to be a specimen on defense. He's a big guy. Rock solid. He's
a big guy.
He's going to be one of the best wing defenders in the league. That dude.
Yeah.
Is
16 points, 6 of 9, 2 for 2 from 3. Yeah, 1 of 2 from the foul line. Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
No, he was
and I will say another detriment to them. Their rebounding is horrible, probably due to
Chet. They're just too small. They need
spindly Chet. Yeah. Maybe that, but anyway, we out rebounded them by 9. So
the thing is, they have 1 million draft picks, like 1 million. So they can go out and get who they want. I was listening to Bill Simmons' podcast the other day. He trickled out, what if they did a trade for Jared Allen on the Cavs, big guy, the Afro.
Yeah. Oh, I know Jared Allen. I like Jared Allen.
Yes. Yeah. If they got that guy, oh boy.
Yep. I agree.
That would be a perfect fit for them.
Yeah. I've always liked Jared Allen. Yeah. And I don't think most teams have used Jared Allen to his peak ability. I'm always like, why isn't he fed more? Why isn't he moves well?
Yeah.
Agreed. No, I love Jared.
That move would be a problem.
Yes.
Yeah, very impressive by the Thunder. Maybe we'll see them in the finals.
I liked our grittiness in the fourth quarter, though. I didn't walk away, and I like these losses for us. If we had been blown out, I think I would have felt very differently. But I like that in the fourth quarter, the grittiness, the changes, the PP for Drew, the switch on Jason Tatum taking, and not just relying on hucking up threes.
This is why I said I wouldn't fear that team in a series. We seem to be like when we wanted to tighten the screws, we tighten the screws.
Agreed. So to me, that's the team that's going to win the championship. That's
no moral victories, but this is as close as you could get. I agree.
I was extremely happy walking away. I have to say, obviously don't want the loss, but it's good for us. Which I was going to say something about Drew Holiday. I was reading, I don't know if you saw the Globe article that Drew Holiday, and it was like, I think it had been done the day before this game, but it was put out on the 3rd. And he was talking about handling adversity, and it was about Joe Mazzulla asking him, about the Bucks and when they won and just his experience that year. And he was talking about adversity and through the season and how once you get to the playoffs, it's a whole different animal. People change, people play harder, people play defense, people, it's just and through the season, how you handle adversity as a team and as a player makes you stronger and will assist you in expecting that adversity in the playoffs. And I find that losses like this and teams like this, which push you in a different way. And the Celtics haven't always been, these players have not always been able to change. They stay the same. They shoot the same shots. They keep the same players in when maybe you shouldn't. And I think that being able to change and being flexible is what we need to do to be better in the playoffs. And I saw that in the fourth quarter. I saw some changes, some things that don't normally happen.
I agree.
And Jaylen Brown, who shot abysmally through the whole game, had 9 points in the fourth quarter. Had he given up, I mean, nobody else was shooting great. Nobody else had chances. Had he given up, he had the most points for us in the fourth quarter. So keeping that momentum going, 9 of his 15 were in the fourth quarter. Yeah. But again, you should hear again, when I'm at the games, what people say. Imagine that chip on your shoulder, largest contract, playing streaky, you're in it for the season. Hey, you're in it till the playoffs.
He literally just looks like Michael Jordan. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And then that guy,
and then
the powers disappear. It's the most bizarre thing. All right, coming up Friday, tomorrow. I don't think I said we're recording this on January 4th. Usually say that at the beginning. I think I forgot that. But tomorrow, the 5th, Utah at home. Keep the streak alive, 16-0.
I hope so. The Jazz aren't playing incredibly well.
No, but
but I always say that we'll make them look good potentially.
I know, that's what we do. All right, then double header at Indiana, both Saturday and Monday. The
next 4. This is a tough 4. I think.
Yeah, I mean the couple after that, it gets wild. You're home for Minnesota. First trip to Milwaukee, and then home for Houston. Ime's return game.
Yeah,
coming back to the Garden. Houston's not bad either. I'll be interested to see them. I've never liked their pieces, but they're doing pretty well this year. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, Pacers, Timberwolves, Bucks. What? Those 4. That's gonna be tough. So I hope they're resting up. I hope somebody rests for the Jazz. I hope, because like I said, Drew was out a game and then I don't know. I hope he's feeling okay. I know he had some ankle issues. So I hope he's solid and strong.
Yep.
And you can kind of tell something's going on because he's not quite himself on defense as well. It's one thing to be off on offense. I think he's still trying to figure out how to fit into our offense. So that doesn't shock me as much, but he's usually really solid on defense. And I didn't really see that in the Thunder. I didn't really see. So I don't know if he's fighting, and he was out the game before. So I'm not sure what, physically is going on with him. So hopefully, he's back to 100% soon. But yeah, those 4 games, they're going to be, I think, really fun. I do have to say one more thing that I was reading about in the article, in the Globe article, and he was talking about Celtics fans and how you're number 1 in the East, you're number 1 overall, best record. And the minute they start, they had that bad Pistons, they were down, the amount of boos. And he said, you're having this heck of a season. And he said, and the loud boos that come at you during that game. He said, it's funny how, quickly people turn on you. The fans that are, even when you're number 1 in the East and you're having a bad game, he said it was so loud.
Get it from anyone.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. Never thought of it that way. I never boo.
Yeah, it's going to get real bad for me to boo, but.
Yes. I think about
Patriots.
I think all fans yes. I think everybody has to think about the poor Patriots season and think, wait a second, we should not be booing the Celtics.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. That's all I have. Oh, unofficial sponsor.
We are good. Today's unofficial sponsor is.
So you may have noticed I'm drinking a pink drink.
Pink drink.
Mine is always clear. It's always seltzer water. And this past week, I tried Culture Pop Soda. No sugar. No sugar. It has ginger, pink grapefruit, juniper berry. It's all natural. The only thing for a sweetener, it has white grape and pink grapefruit juice. That's it. Lime, ginger. 40. It's a probiotic soda. So good mixed with seltzer. So good. So that's my unofficial sponsor.
Amazing. What was it again?
Yeah.
I can't see.
Cultured Pop Soda.
Cultured Pop Soda. It's his unofficial sponsor. Cultured Pop. If you'd like to be the official sponsor of Shamrock Talk, it won't take much. Just get in contact with us.
They're expensive,
send us a little bit of product.
Just one.
We'll keep it up. We'll keep it up. I think that's all we got. We'll be back next week at some point. Maybe we'll get back to our normal Sundays. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's the depth of the season. We're right in the middle of it now. Games all the time. So we'll be back next week.
More than others.
What?
Sometimes some games you have more to say than others.
Correct.
Spurs, not a lot.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah. My worst team in the league. Go Pistons and go Celtics.
Agreed. Go Celtics.